For those of you who read your bulletin, you see that the title of today's message is, Did You Love? Out of John 17:20-23. Yahweh Elohim, thank you for your presence here today. Would you be so kind as to continue to bless us with your revelation from your word? Bless everyone who's here like only you know how, and all of your children look up and say Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Chapter John 17 verses 20-23. And I do not pray for these alone, but also for those who believe in me through their word, so that they all might be one, as you, Father, are in me and I in you, so that they may be one in us, so that the world might believe that you have sent me. And the esteem which you have given me, I have given them, so that they might be one as we are one. You may be seated. You may be seated. I in them, and you in me, so that I might be perfected in one, so that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved me as I have loved them. Oh, hallelujah. I want to read verse 23 again. I in them, and you in me, so that they might be perfected into one, so that the world knows that you have sent me and have loved me as you have, and have loved them as you have loved me. The question we want to answer today is a simple one. Did you love? And I want to go through some basic foundational stuff that you should already know. So it's just a brief review. I want you to understand something that's really, really very important in this little passage of scripture, which we have read probably before and have read again, and we just read it just now. It is very, very important that we try to achieve the oneness that this speaks about. There has to be a oneness between you and the Father, you and His Bane, you and His Ruach HaKodesh. There has to be a oneness there. Okay? Now, Genesis 1:1 is a great verse of scripture because it establishes the beginning. And it establishes Elohim as the one who was there in the beginning. Genesis 2:7, of course, is another clean passage of scripture because it shows where we were created. Okay, so Yahuwah is the creator and father, okay, and we are his sons and daughters. He's the one who's the provider, and we are his dependents. That's the relationship. He's the provider, and we are his dependents, okay? Now, 1 John 4:16 lets us know that he is love, that Elohim is love. Right? John 3:16 also expresses his love as giving us Yeshua HaMashiach, okay? So that through him we might be saved. So, Yahuwah is love, and Yeshua HaMashiach is the gift of love. And in the book of Acts, on the day of Pentecost, we read how the Ruach HaKodesh was given, and it is the spirit of love. Okay? And this is very important because none of this becomes into any effect until you have received salvation. Okay? Once you have received salvation, now you have the love of Elohim in the oneness of the Trinity. So you have the love of the Father as Yahuwah Elohim, the love of the Bane as Yeshua HaMashiach, the love of the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? Because the fruit of it is love. And I want you to understand something. Everything that we do in this life must be established upon the rock, the cornerstone which the elders rejected, which is the cornerstone of love. And it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. That cornerstone is the cornerstone of love. Meaning what? The church that they built around that cornerstone is a church where love should be the leading thing in that house. Everything about that should be established in his love. So the question is, did you love? Now notice that we're asking this in past tense. Why? Because we're going to wrap it up at the end and I'll show you exactly what I mean in this scenario, okay? And that basically is just a little foundational stuff for us to get going with the message today. All right? So we have Yahuwah, Yeshua, the Ruach HaKodesh, and you all as one. All as one. Okay? And now let's actually begin the message. Okay? In 1 Corinthians 1:9, we read that we are called to fellowship with Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay? We're called to fellowship with Yeshua HaMashiach. What is the purpose of that fellowship? The purpose of that fellowship is to perfect us to the point where we could love the way He loves, so that now we may have access to Elohim as Yahweh. See, He was the one who said, no one is going to come to my Father but by me. See, you're not going to, look, I don't care who you are nor where you're from. You're not going to get to Yahweh until you have established a relationship with Yeshua. That's just how it is. Okay? That's just how it is. You have to establish a relationship with Yeshua in order to get to Yahweh. Now here's something that's kind of interesting. Okay? 1 John 4:12 says that your love is perfected in Yahweh. Okay? But 1 John 2:5 says that Yeshua perfects your love. Do you see how love is being perfected no matter where you go? Why? Because everything about the Word in the original and the renewed covenants, okay, clearly established nothing more than Elohim from the beginning as love. And that's basically what it's all about. See, we need to understand this. Now listen to this very carefully, because in Galatians 5:22 is when we find out that the fruit of love has been given to us in the Spirit. So now, do you see how this thing is being set up for us so that we are going to receive the gift of love, which brings love with Him? When you establish the fellowship with Him, you are going to perfect that love that you need in order to accomplish everything you need to accomplish in that love by His will for you. That's just how it is. We can't get around that. That's just how it is. So you're either going to love or you're not going to love. That's just how it is. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. The question is, how much are you loving right now? How much are you loving right now? How much are you loving Yahuwah? How much are you loving Yeshua HaMashiach? How much are you loving the Ruach HaKodesh? How much are you loving him? How much are you loving your neighbor? Do you know that you cannot love your neighbor unless you have been established in the Ruach HaKodesh? In Yeshua and in Yahweh? Because you cannot love anyone until you understand what that love is. You have to have the experience of Him loving you as the Father, the Bane loving you, the Spirit loving you, and you reciprocating in that love. Once you learn to reciprocate in that love, now you can love your neighbor as yourself. Not before. Not before. Now we see a lot of this, oh yeah, I love him, I'm sure, until he asks you to do something, I'm too busy. Really? If you loved him, you'd have been able to do it for him, wouldn't you? Oh, I'm too busy. Okay. This is why we have to establish the fact that Elohim needs to be loved with everything that is within you. With all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, with everything that is within you. You should pour that onto Him in your love. And here's the kicker. When you pour all that out to Him in your love, His will becomes your will. Why? Because you love Him so much that you don't want to do anything that'll bring a tear to his eye. Come on now. See, we have established ourselves, and by the way, that's in Luke 10:27, to love your neighbor and yourself and love the Father and the Son. We have established ourselves in such a way where we have allowed the world to dictate what love is. Okay? And we have to be very careful, because when you look at the love in the world, it's a big L. And then the word love is printed on the top. But the word lust is underneath it. A big L. With love on the top and lust on the bottom. See, love has no lust, just like lust has no love. I didn't think I was going to get too many hallelujahs on that one, but love has no lust, and lust has no love. And you need to understand that. Why? Because it's the things of this world that really, really, really cause us to lust in the eye, the flesh, and everywhere else. And we need to be aware of that, because they present it to you as love, but it's not. Okay? Do me a favor, turn to the book of Deuteronomy. Go to chapter 6. When you're there, say amen. Amen.
Me.
Now, go to verse number 5. Or better yet, verse number 4. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim is Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being and with all your might. That's the first time this is printed in the Old Covenant. It hasn't changed. Luke 10:27 says the exact same thing. Okay? But it also includes your neighbor, because we're under the renewed covenant. Do you see what I'm saying here? This has been the foundation on which the Torah or Torah has been established. From the beginning, love is what established Yahuwah, Yeshua, and the Ruach HaKodesh in man. In man. So that man could then love another man. And we're talking about loving them with a godly love of affection. In other words, you got agape, phileo, and eros. It's the phileo love for man to man or woman to woman that we are discussing here. It's a love of brotherhood, sisterhood. It's a love that's established in the scripture and in your heart as you continue to establish the relationship of love with Elohim in the oneness of the Trinity. Now, why is this so important? Because we here in the United States today have more hatred in this country than anything else. If you don't believe me, just look at our political situation, look at our government, look at the people that are out there, and they hate you and don't even know you simply because you are. That's insane. And the reason why that is because we took the time to throw Elohim out the window. We don't want him in school. We don't want him in the courthouse. We don't want him in our government. We don't want him among the people. And when you throw him out, you throw away the basic foundation for which we were created, and that is to love one another above and beyond what we should be loving. But you're not going to do any of that if the person who's established in love has been thrown out the window. If whenever you hear someone speaking out of their intellect, Right, so I don't insult anybody, okay? I got a few choice words I can use, but we're not going to put them out there. When you listen to them speak, interfere the whole thing and say, do you love me? Oh my goodness. You just wrecked their day. They're going to look at you and say, what? I don't even know you. Do you know that two brothers in Yahuwah, a world apart, if they find each other sitting next to one another on a plane and a conversation ensues, they will find the love they have for one another in them for each other through him. It just naturally happens. I know because I've experienced that myself on planes. Okay, I don't fly as much as I used to, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. What matters is that when you find someone who's of the faith and they have a love relationship with Yahuwah, Yeshua, and the Ruach, they're going to have a love relationship with you. And you've just met. And that's the foundation on which you build. Why? Because you're taking it back to the cornerstone. See, you can't build anything without a foundation. The cornerstone is our foundation. Why? Because we stand upon a rock. A rock that cannot be shaken, a rock that cannot be moved, a rock that's so solidified that it will establish us, beyond what we can imagine. The question is, did you love? Are you loving now? Husbands, how do you love your wives? Your children? Your neighbor? I'll tell you exactly how much you love them by the relationship you have with Yahuwah. If your relationship with him is solid, that love is there guaranteed. If the relationship with him is shaky, that's the best they're going to get, is shaky. If the relationship there is non-existent, how many of you know they're going to be abused? Verbally, physically, and every other way possible. Why? Because love does not beat up anybody. Physically. Love will rebuke. Love will correct. Love will do all kinds of things in the Word for our love's sake. Because he loves us. And that's the only thing that can be done. See, but we don't take the time to, can you imagine back in Deuteronomy? Look at that little, and how many of you have read that and flew right by it? Don't raise your hand. And I said, I looked at that the other day and I said, ain't this a beautiful sweetness? Way back when Moses was hanging around. Gotta love me. Gotta love me. Gotta love me. And when you love me, keep my commandments. See, that's the problem we have today. Because we have no love, we have become the children of disobedience. We have become rebels, anti-establishment. We are more busy breaking people down than we are lifting them up in prayer. Did he just went there? You better believe I went there. You better believe I went there. This is the world we live in today. There are more people being broken down by verbal garbage than there are being lifted up as you kneel down and say, Yahuwah, I come before you in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach on behalf of so-and-so, and I want you to bless them because they need you now more than ever. Yes. See, but we don't love like that. We don't love like that. I want this church to be known a church where the love of Yahuwah is here all the time. I've told you, if someone walks into that door and you're the first person they see, will they find the love of Yahuwah for them in you? If they do, they're going to stay. They're going to stay. Why? Because they found Yahuwah for them in you. And how easy it is for them to introduce them to Yeshua. And let them get saved if they're not. Or let them come back if they're backslidden. Okay? Come on. We need to really understand what's going on here. Okay? And by the way, I was just quoting Ephesians 5:25 when I talking about the wives loving the husband loving the wives, and loving the children. Okay? Titus 2:4. Go to Titus right now. Chapter 2, verse 4. If you're there, say amen.
Amen.
Brother Cisco, read that out loud.
In order for them to train the young women to love their husbands, to love their children.
In order to train the young women to love their husbands and love their children. You know that that's what the women are supposed to be doing in the church, the elder women? They're supposed to be training the younger women to love their husbands and love their children. How many of you know that the elder men are supposed to be teaching the younger men to love your wives as Yeshua loves the church? It's a reciprocal. It's a reciprocal. And guess what? As the wives love the children and the husband loves the wife, that love spills over to the children, and the young boys learn how to love their wives while they're watching the example at home. See, we don't tend to understand children too well, but let me tell you something. When they're watching something, you better be careful what you're doing. They will pick that up so quickly, it's amazing how quickly they'll pick it up. I have a picture of two-year-olds who come with their parents to my office, and they watch me adjust them all the time. And do you know that we were finished and we were discussing something, and we turned around and one of them was laying down and the other one was playing doctor, just like I do, and all they did was watch. I have a picture of it. We had to take a picture. It was a Kodak moment. But what I'm saying is, think of how much people learn just by watching you. You don't think the world is watching you? They're watching you and they're hoping for you to make a mistake. Just so they can say, oh yeah, and he calls himself a Christian. Well, you're not. You're a child of Elohim. There's a difference. A Christian is a title. A child has a relationship. Come on now.
Amen.
People who call themselves Christians, watch them. Watch them. That's exactly what they are. Christians. Why? Because they don't have a relationship with Elohim. How do we know? Look at what they say. Look at what they do. Not a problem. You know them by their fruits. We are reaching a point of desperation in America and a very serious crossroad. We are on the verge of civil unrest. And most people don't even want to see it. If you want to have people go at each other's throats, let a Christian group march in front of an abortion clinic and watch how they come out in the woodwork, out of the woodworks. And they're ready to take you on physically. This is the kind of stuff we're facing now. Okay? Or conversely, you have a march that's anti-Elohim. So you go ahead and put a march pro-Elohim, and they're ready to shut you down because you're interfering with their sinful rights. And that's exactly what it is. Their sinful rights. Come on now. Look, we are going to find ourselves in a new world order soon. It's been coming since the 50s. Okay? movement of the 50s is where the deprivation of America began. And it's going through to this day. Now we have a left wing and a right wing that's so radical that the children of God are being seen in the middle as the chicken wing, and they're ready to fry us. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. The left wing and the right wing will take us out in a heartbeat. Why? Because there's no love in them. The only thing they're interested in is power and taking dominion over you. That's all they're interested in, is power and taking dominion over you. And that's the one thing that Elohim kept unto himself as Yahuwah the Father. He's the only one who has dominion over man. Period. Nobody else does. What do you think slavery is all about? Man having dominion over man. That's what slavery is all about. And you can be a slavery enslaved, or you can be a slavery that's free. How can I be a slave when I'm free? Look at your fruit. The basket's empty. You're living in sin. You're in slavery. Not too complicated. You either love or you don't. You either love or you don't. Okay? Now, let's go to 2 Corinthians 5. Second Corinthians 5. Verses 6 through 8. Therefore, being always of good courage, and knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from Adon. For we walk by belief and not by sight. We are of good courage and well pleased, rather to be absent from the body and to be present with Adon. Now, how much do you love so that you are actually absent from the body and present with Adon while you're still here? How much do you love? Do you find yourself here, but yet in the presence of the throne room? Having a love relationship with Yahuwah, Yeshua, by the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay? Do you have that type of a relationship? And remember, when you finally step out of the body for the final time, you ain't coming back. You did. Unless he sends you back, then you resurrected one more time. You can't. Would you be able to say yes when you hear the question, did you love? Are you going to be able to say yes to that? Did you love? Did you love? Very, very important. Why is that? Because that's what your life should have been about. See, you're going to give an account. You're going to give a complete account of nothing more than the love relationship you had here and what you did in that love relationship. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I've heard all kinds of people tell me all kinds of things about what the Day of Judgment is about. That's what it's about. And let me tell you something. All of the things you did that were not based on love, when they're tested by fire, you don't get them back, they're burned. Because love is the only thing that conquers the fire. How do we know? Because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego loved Elohim so much they were willing to die by fire. And when they were thrown in, what showed up? Love in Yeshua HaMashiach, and they were dancing in the fire. There's going to be great loss on that day for many people. But you know what? If I were to lose all of my reward, and I were given a broom, a mop, a broom closet, okay, and a dustpan, I will guarantee you, you're going to find the cleanest sidewalks in all of heaven, or the Shamayim. I will keep them puppies spotless. Why? Because I'm there. I made it. Even if I didn't get any rewards, I made it. Can you think of a greater reward than that? I'm there. I can see all there is to see. I can go into the New Jerusalem and wipe down the walls if I have to. Give me wings so I can fly as a janitor. Can you see me flying with my little push broom? And then at the end, I've got my little thing waiting and I scoop it up into the trash. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't, see, we cannot try to think of the kingdom there as the earth here. They're diametrically opposed. They're diametrically opposed. Here we have hate, there we have love. Here we have sin, there we have no sin. Here we have sickness and disease, not there. Here our bodies are falling apart, we get new ones over there. That's just how it is. See, but we need to understand exactly what's happening. And I'm telling you, there's going to come a time when you're going to stand and give an account as to how you loved while you were here. Did you love Yahuwah like you should have? Did you love Yeshua HaMashiach like you should have? Were you walking with the Ruach HaKodesh in the fruit of love that He brought for you so that you could consume it and become a part of that lovey-dovey relationship and then be a part of loving your fellow man? That's all that it is. That's all that it is. And it's so nice to be able to get that. Okay. Now, go to John chapter 14. I'm just going to verify something for you. If you're there, say amen.
Amen.
We're going to go verses 20 through 23. And in that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. In that day you shall know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. Are you there right now? Or you're waiting for that day? He who possesses my commands and guards them, it is he who loves me. And he who loves me shall be loved of my Father, and I shall love him and manifest myself to him. Is he making himself manifest to you? Do you love him so much that Elohim is loving you, that Yahuwah is loving you, and he's making himself manifest to you? Do you have that kind of love relationship right now? Okay. Yahudah, not the one from Kerioth, said to him, Adonai, what has come about that you are about to manifest yourself to us and not to the world? Yeshua answered him, if anyone love me, he shall guard my word. And my Father shall love him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. This is exactly what I've been saying all along. I just want to prove it to you biblically. See, there's a relationship of love and keeping commands and guarding the word and making sure that you are walking above reproach, that you are going and doing the things you're called to do. And it's established in this love relationship. And because you have that love relationship with the Son, you also have a love relationship with the Father, and the Ruach HaKodesh who's with you will lead you in that walk of love, so that you are walking in the love with the Spirit, and now you find yourself not only guarding the Word, but doing the will of the Father, and the world will look at you and say, what is wrong with that man? Because you're completely separate from them. Why? Because you are kingdom living here. You are living here as though you are already in the kingdom. The love relationship is established. You know exactly what's going on. And everyone who comes to you to say anything or ask you anything, you are ready to give him an account of the hope that lies within you because of the love you have with Yeshua or Yeshua. It's that love relationship that's going to make it all happen. Why is it so important? Because I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is the love between you and him that will move his hand on your behalf in your finances, in your health, in every area of your life. It is Elohim who shall supply all of your need. Well, what is it that you need? You need to love him. See? You need to love him. Once you love him, everything else will be fine. That's why he said, seek ye first the kingdom. You are a kingdom child from the moment you got saved. Seek that kingdom and all of its righteousness. What is all of its righteousness? It's the love relationship between you and the bane of Yahuwah that establishes you in his righteousness, thereby giving you the right to come before the Father and find yourself in a love relationship that's second to none, established in his covenant, and then you can go ahead and love your fellow man. See, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that, including me. I sometimes fall short. Listen, don't kid yourself. I'm not any better than any of you. Okay? I need to work on this every day to make sure that I'm loving him. Why do you think I'm always using that phrase? I'm loving you. I'll say that to him any day of the week. Yeshua, don't get upset. I'm loving you. Why not? Why not? What's the worst thing he can do? Make himself manifest to me? How good would that be? But you have to understand that we have to establish our love relationship, and we need to keep those commands. We have to keep his commandments. Now I want you to understand something. When you have the love relationship, when he makes himself manifest to you, he will give you other commandments. He will. Remember poor Ananias when he was told to go lay hands on Saul before he became Brother Paul? You know what he does to guys like me? He'll take my hat off. No, just go. He's going to suffer a lot for me, and I've got it covered. You just go. Okay. That's not in the 10 Commandments, is it? It's not in the other 2 commandments. Is it? It's not in the 10 Commandments. And then we have the love commandments. That's where it is. He went because the love relationship he had with Yeshua. When you love Yeshua truly, the one thing that is seen in your life beyond a shadow of a doubt is your obedience to him. Your obedience to him is beyond. And that's what we need to have. Turn to the book of Acts. Chapter 7. Verses 44 through 49. Now, Asaf. You then say amen. Amen.
Amen.
44 through 49. The tent of witnesses was with our fathers in the wilderness, as he appointed instructing Moshe to make it in accordance to the pattern that he had seen, which our fathers, having received it in turn, also brought with Yahushua,
Joshua,
into the land of promise, possessed by the Gentiles, whom Elohim drove out before the faces of our fathers until the days of David, who found favor before Elohim and asked to find a dwelling for the Elohim of Yaakov. But Shemov built him an house. However, the Most High does not dwell in dwellings made with hands, as the Navi says. However, the Most High does not dwell in dwellings made with hands, as the Navi says. The Shamayim is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What house shall you build me, says Yahuwah, or what is the place of my rest? I want you to get a hold of this. Everything that we have just gone through is to bring us to this moment. Everything we just did is to bring us to this moment. Okay? 1 Corinthians 3:16 and 17 lets us know, okay, that our bodies are the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh. This right here establishes the fact that no matter what building you build, he doesn't dwell there. He does not dwell in dwellings made with hands. Okay? Buildings. He doesn't dwell there. Meaning what? The desire of Elohim is to dwell and rest within you. This is the essence of this entire message. The desire of Elohim is to find rest for himself within you. Meaning what? You have to have within the confines of your heart a love relationship with him that allows him to come in and abide in that love and rest within you in the love you have for him. This is the whole message right here. The whole thing, all that we went through was for that one moment right now. Everything else you can throw out. Because it was all foundational when you really think about the fact that everything that went through just led us to this one moment. Don't throw it out, by the way. It's good stuff. Think of this. He actually wants to rest in you and me. How amazing is that? We can rest in him. He's told us that every Sabbath we can rest in him. But when can he rest in us? The God who never, or the Yahuwah who never sleeps, who doesn't blunder, who's constantly watching, who's constantly doing. Okay? Can you imagine how beautiful it would be for you to sit down and worship him in the love that you have for him, and he shows up where you are and abides in you? Not abides in you, I mean literally abides in you. And now in your temple, he takes his rightful place and he rests within you. That is mind-blowing, amazingly wonderful. And that's what he wants. It's right there. I don't dwell in places made with hands. So where are you going to build me a place? In your heart. The issues of this life come out and from your heart. So if you have a heart of love, look, I told you already, there are 4 chambers, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom. 1 for Yahuwah, 1 for Yeshua, 1 for the Holy Ghost, and 1 for you, or the Ruach HaKodesh. If those 4 chambers are filled with those 4 people, guess what? They each get to rest in you. They have their own little room in your heart. And guess what? All the issues from this life that come out of your heart will come out in the perfect will of him for you. You can't go wrong. There's nothing that you would do that there's nothing that you would do that would upset him. Because everything that you're doing is because of the love relationship you have with him. Just to bring him honor and glory in your life. How beautiful is that? How wonderful is that? The question that you need to go home and answer to yourself is, did you love? That's for the end. Scratch that and then ask yourself, am I loving now? Am I loving now? Okay? Am I loving Yahuwah? Am I loving Yeshua? Am I loving the Ruach HaKodesh? Am I loving my fellow man the way he loves them because he's in me? If you do that today, I guarantee you your entire being will change. And this is what began to happen to me on Friday. I'm telling you, wasn't it a beautiful day? It was a beautiful day. I mean, it was a beautiful day. Why? Because I found something that was worth more than anything else on this planet. A deeper, more meaningful relationship. And can you imagine this? I am, or me, this, okay, is place of rest. Are you his place of rest? The answer is yes, but can he actually rest there? Yes. Are you the child of him where he can rest? Go buy yourself a church that says Motel 9 or Motel 3, Motel 4. I don't care. I am the motel of Yahweh. Do you understand what I'm saying? Listen to the profoundness of this. Get a hold of this. This is really quick. This is so beautifully important that it just, I'm telling you, it's changing my life even as I'm preaching it to you now. The thought of having the three of them in my heart would probably cause me to have a heart attack. I'd have to be resurrected right there. But just think about that. You can have the entire Trinity within you and the Father resting within you. That's his place of rest. Wow. I'm going to leave it there.